When the August sun bakes Central Texas until the asphalt shivers like a mirage, most folks sprint to air-conditioned refuge. I lean into the heat. It smells like overtime. I'm Mark Miller, former Air Force avionics tech, now co-owner of Miller HVAC Solar. And last Wednesday, I finished wiring a smart inverter on a roof in Leander while the shingles hissed at 115 degrees. Sweat dripped, cicadas jeered, but the job site fell silent for one beat when my brother Sam shouted up, "Hey hero, barbecue at Dave's this Saturday. Put it on your calendar before the VA counselor steals all your free time again." I flashed him a thumbs up and kept working fingers steady, mind humming its usual static. The shrink calls the crackling inside my skull low-grade PTSD gift from a Kabul flight line where mortar alarms were more punctual than coffee. Mostly I manage, but respect and routine are the rails that keep me upright. Saturday arrives with that electric promise you only get after finishing a brutal install. I roll the old Ford F-150 out of the driveway at dawn. In the back seat, a mini hard hat for 6-year-old Brooke Carter, plus a Lowe's Build and Grow kit shaped like a rocket. Brooke sits cross-legged, hugging it like contraband, her brown eyes bright behind dollar store sunglasses. Up front, her mom, Lisa, rides shotgun coffee steaming in a Buc-ee's cup. Lisa's a preschool aide with a laugh you can spot across a playground. She's been raising Brooke alone since a bar band drummer skipped town 4 years ago. We met at an Austin tailgate when my toolbox beat the stereo for volume, and by our third date, she'd learned that a man who can solder 2 wires in a sandstorm will also remember your preferred breakfast taco order. Brooke still calls me Mr. Mark, then shy as dusk until the day she stacks cinder blocks in the driveway pretending they're castle walls. One topples and clips her ankle. She yelps, frightened more than hurt. I scoop her up, check for blood, whisper silly tower defense jokes to stop the crying. She sniffs, whispers back, "Daddy, the dragon fell." My chest heats like a furnace about to blow a gasket. Lisa, wiping mortar dust off her elbows, freezes. We exchange a look, equal parts panic and awe, and Lisa mouths, "Your call." I nod once. "Yeah, kiddo," I answer. Dragon's toast. From that second forward, I am, "Daddy, no resume required." Weeks blur into a new rhythm: Saturday tool time and taco run. We roam Lowe's aisles, filling the cart with screws we don't need because Brooke insists her rocket deserves real astronaut panels. At the checkout, the clerk grins when Brooke swipes my debit card like a CEO. On the ride to Buc-ee's, she leans out the window, wind tangling her ponytail, shouting, "We build stuff, we eat stuff, we nap," as if she's discovered the Pledge of Allegiance. I laugh so hard my ribs ache. Later in my shop, she paints the plywood rocket sage green, her piece color, and crowns it with a glitter star. The fumes mix with smoked brisket aroma drifting from the neighbor's pit, and for the first time since Kabul, my brain hushes. I start a 529 college plan when Brooke turns 8. It isn't charity. It's oxygen for a future I want to breathe. Every quarter, I transfer a chunk of profit before paying myself, watching the balance rise like Austin real estate prices. Lisa's friends tell her she lucked out finding a blue-collar guy who's weirdly comfortable discussing compound interest, but Lisa corrects them. No, I partnered up. We marry in 2012 under live oak branches at Brushy Creek Park. Brooke Flower Girl and self-appointed ring security announces mission control. "Dad, you may now launch the bride," then shoves the rings toward us. Laughter ripples across folding chairs. Even Sam's glass eye sweats a tear. Those early years build a highlight reel that replays whenever my nightmares sneak back. Brooke falling asleep on my chest while I sketch duct diagrams. Her first Little League swing connecting with the ball and her spinning to ask, "Did you see Dad, though?" The crack echoes across the field. The night a thunderclap snaps me awake, and Brooke pads in to pat my shoulder. "It's okay, the sky just sneezed." My therapist says caretaking rewires trauma, and maybe he's right because each memory dulls Couples echoes another notch. Lisa climbs too. She enrolls in an online MBA, hoping to run her own daycare one day. Coursework and motherhood plus Austin traffic chew her energy, but she hustles anyway, fueled by faith that hard work still cashes out in America. At home, we operate like a flight crew chore chart magnetized to the fridge weekly family briefings, where Brooke votes on paint colors or whether Saturday tacos need extra queso. When the HVAC solar line takes off, local builders love net zero packages. I surprise Brooke with a breakfast taco tower candle for her 10th birthday and declare Professor Miller's future scholar fund just hit 15 grand. She squeals, salsa flies. Lisa cries into her tortilla, and I swear the diner neon glows warmer than the whisper of change. Brooke turns 13 prints her first TikTok video with thrift store haul angles so slick I wonder who taught her editing. Views climb fast. Brand DMs trickle in. I'm proud until subtle shifts slither in too. She complains the Corolla Cross hybrid I keep tuned is embarrassing pastel begs for a Tesla Model 3, so my channel feels cohesive. I deflect with a dad joke about cohesive brake pads. The request dies for now, but a flicker of entitlement lights behind her ring light. One sticky April afternoon, I pick Brooke up from cheer practice. She scrolls madly while I navigate I-35 traffic. Dad Madison's stepdad just bought her a Model 3 Performance. So sick. She doesn't ask, just states fact, gauging my reaction. I chuckle. Good for Madison's stepdad. Hope she thanks him. Brooke snorts. She got it because her channel's blowing up. Image matters, you know. A billboard of a Marine saluting flashes past, my knuckles pale on the wheel. Still, I tell myself phases come and go. That night, I tuck her in. Yes, she still tolerates my bedtime knock, but instead of our usual secret handshake, she flicks the phone one last time and mumbles, "Night, Mark," not malicious, just distracted. My heart stutters. Maybe she's tired. Maybe I misheard. I swallow the unease and review invoices until 2 a.m. numbers calming me like white noise. Saturday again, Lowe's Run Taco Pit Stop. Brooke's energy is off a constant buzz like she's live streaming internally. In the appliance aisle, she spots a stainless fridge and says loud enough for strangers to turn, "Mom says we need one of these if we want brand deals." Right, Mark. The syllables clang like a dropped wrench. Not Dad. Mark. Shoppers side-eye me. My neck burns. I glance at Lisa, 2 rows over, comparing paint swatches. She doesn't seem to have heard. I kneel to Brooke's level voice, low but steady the way the drill sergeant taught us to defuse explosives. "Kiddo, why'd you call me Mark?" She shrugs, eyes flicking back to the glowing phone. "It's your name." "Chill," she mutters, then skips toward seasonal decor, leaving me kneeling on cold tile, pulse pounding in my ears like rotor blades. Sam appears beside the cart, having tracked me down for advice on a blower motor. He looks from my face to Brooke's retreating figure. "Everything copacetic, Captain," he asks, half joking. I force a nod, but the static in my head spikes old alarms revving. Respect is a rail, and I just felt it bend. For the first time in years, the world tilts heat, pressing fluorescent lights, buzzing too loud, the smell of fertilizer suddenly cobble dust. My vision tunnels as Brooke flips her hair under the store's security camera performing for invisible fans. Somewhere deep, a crack forms, and I realize with cold clarity, a phase didn't just start. Something precious may have ended. Monday morning, I park the F-150 outside the VA clinic, grab a lukewarm Yeti mug, and breathe like my therapist taught 4 counts in hold, 4 counts out, yet the memory of Brooke saying "chill Mark" still hums in my molars. Dr. Patel listens while I describe the Lowe's incident. She doesn't lecture, she just tilts her head. Respect is your grounding wire. When it's cut, the current arcs. What's your plan to splice it back? I shrug. As an avionics guy, I trust wiring diagrams. Families don't come with schematics. That night, after taco leftovers, I ask Brooke for 5 honest minutes, no phone. She sighs, shuts TikTok, and sits at the kitchen island ring light glow, still bleaching her cheeks. Kiddo calling me Mark felt like a punch. "I'm Dad, remember?" She twirls a streak of hair. I'm almost 14. Everyone calls step-parents by first name on YouTube. It feels normal. I keep calm, palms flat on quartz. It doesn't feel normal to me. Lisa, drying dishes, interjects, maybe let her express herself on. It's a phase. The word phase scrapes my ears like sandpaper. Brooke's gaze returns to the phone. Conversation over. 2 weeks later, Marisol, our firm's accountant, drops a manila folder on my desk. Numbers don't lie, Jefe. Inside, color-coded charts, household discretionary spending up 40% since Brooke's channel took off. Savings curve flattening. Solar installs are booming now, she warns in a soft San Antonio lilt, but markets dip. You're building a runway for college, not a runway show. Her glance is sisterly, not scolding, yet my gut twists. I promise tighter budgeting. That promise implodes the following Saturday. Brooke waltzes into family briefing wearing neon sneakers and a confidence that doesn't fit the dining room. Madison's dad ordered her a Tesla Model 3 perf. My audience loves sustainable vibes, and Sam says your tax credit could offset the cost. She hands me a color printout with a bow like a toddler's crayon drawing or a ransom note. I keep my tone even. We discussed you starting with the Corolla Cross. Safe, efficient, paid for. Brooke's smile goes flat. Lisa sides with her gently image matters in social media mark. A Tesla is a business asset for Brooke's brand. My pulse thuds. Then her business can buy it when her business makes money. Brooke storms upstairs. The Corolla arrives on her 16th birthday anyway. Sage green ribbon across the hood. She offers a brittle thank you on camera, but the clip never makes her feed. 3 weeks later, she bangs into a concrete pole at H-E-B, $1,200 in bodywork. She limps the car home, half crying, half filming. Her first line to me is, "The sensors suck." I breathe slow. "Accidents happen. You'll cover the repair." She gawks, as if I've proposed child labor in a coal mine. Lisa tries mediation. School workload is brutal. Let's not distract her. I hold the line. Brooke grinds her teeth and files a Venmo request labeled parental duty. I decline. Family meetings turn into tribunals. Brooke produces spreadsheets of influencer growth projections. Lisa cites mental health studies about teenagers and peer pressure. I counter with Marisol's charts showing our emergency fund bleeding. Every vote ends 2-1. After one session, Sam corners me on the porch softball bat over his shoulder from league practice. "Captain, you don't negotiate with teenagers. You train them? Right now she's training you?" His words sting because they're true. That night, I open Excel naming the file, reality check. Line after line, phone bill, $95 cheer camp, $680 concert tickets, $350 ring light, $149 Tesla deposit, refunded, $250. At 137 rows, I stop fingers numb. The total, $86,740. Since Daddy became brand sponsor, glows red. I print it, fold it, slide it under Brooke's door with a post-it gratitude equals extras. Think it over. Love, Dad. She thinks it over by posting a TikTok titled "Living with a Budget Broke Dad." Thumbnail, her fake crying beside the dented Corolla text overlay. He bought this instead of a Tesla. The hour-long clip splices close-ups of my mud-stained work boots, the hum of our secondhand fridge, and sarcastic voiceovers about boomer priorities. It racks up 600,000 views and a sponsorship offer from a luxury phone case brand before I even clock out of a rooftop install. Sam texts the link with one word, "Ouch." My stomach drops. Securing bolts blur. Kabul mortar sirens wail inside my head. I watch the video in the cab, noon heat, choking. The comments are savage. Stepdad tax dump the geezer laugh emoji strings. One user jokes, maybe he should crowdfund his emotions. I choke down bile. Respect rail severed. Arcing current everywhere. I call Lisa. She hasn't seen it yet. She's venting. Lisa starts, but her voice quivers. I ask her to have Brooke delete it. She promises to try. By dinner, the clip hits 1.2 million views. Brooke floats into the kitchen humming Ring Light Halo still on. She left it recording a reaction video in her room. I'm plating smoked brisket hands steady only because they've tightened 1,000 copper flares. Take the video down, I say. She rolls her eyes. It's content, Dad. Nothing personal. The word Dad lands hollow, rehearsed. Lisa sets silverware, whispering, maybe there's a compromise. Brooke can film a follow-up praising your hard work. Brooke perks. Yes, viewers adore redemption arcs. My heart cracks at the casual calculus. Respect isn't a storyline, I answer. That night, I lie awake counting ceiling fan rotations. At 3 a.m., I jot a new rule list: basics only, roof, food, school supplies. Extras tied to gratitude in action, not emoji apologies. I slip the paper into my wallet behind my veteran ID, a quiet contract with myself. Morning brings a storm gray sky and a message request from an account called @TeslaBrookeFans. Thumbnail shows Brooke's face photoshopped onto stacks of dollar bills. Caption: weekend fundraiser. Get Brooke the ride she deserves. A GoFundMe link sits below already at 6,800. Sam forwards it with a gif of popcorn popping. Marisol emails an urgent subject line. We need to talk assets, firewall, ASAP. My shoulders knot. The rails are gone. Sparks fly. I swing by Lowe's for thermostat sensors, but my mind spins on one loop: boundaries enforced or life derails. I grip the shelving so tight my palm squeaks. An elderly man in veteran's cap nods at my service patch and says, easy, son. Whatever it is, anchor first, anchor. I decide then the family meeting tonight won't be a vote. It'll be a briefing. Orders one direction. Evening. Dining table cleared, except for 3 objects: the GoFundMe printout, the Excel expenses, and Brooke's dented Corolla key fob. Lisa and Brooke enter, expecting negotiation. I stay seated, voice calm, ready to splice the broken wire if it means shutting the circuit down first. From now on, I begin needs only. Extras earn respect first. Brooke's jaw drops. Lisa's eyes widen. I slide the expenses across. You've cost more than my first house. Brooke's fingers tremble on the sheets. You can't do this. My brand. She stops. Thunder rolls, outside lights flicker. The ring light upstairs dims, a literal spotlight fading. My voice remains steady. The fundraiser money goes to homes for vets. If strangers want to donate, they'll help someone who served. Brooke gasps. Lisa looks betrayed, but I see something else behind Brooke's shock panic. Exposure cuts both ways. Lightning snaps, power clicks off. In the sudden dark, Brooke's phone lights up with notifications like Firefly's donors, comments, demands for updates. She stares at the glow, then at me. If you do this, I'll tell everyone you're abusing me. She doesn't shout. She whispers, deadly sure of digital leverage. The room feels smaller than any bunker I've known. Sam's words echo. You don't negotiate with teenagers. You train them. I push my chair back slowly and reach for the key fob. Outside, the storm hammers the roof. Inside, silence hammers our ears. My decision is final, but the cost is about to explode. Brooke's pupils dilate like she's facing her own cancel culture. Lisa opens her mouth to speak, and in that instant, the front doorbell rings 3 sharp chimes. Behind the frosted glass stands a woman holding a tripod stamped with the logo of a national morning show. Brooke invited media to film tonight's family resolution. The camera woman lifts a hand to knock again. My pulse steadies into mission tempo. This isn't a meeting now, it's a live broadcast war. And I have 30 seconds to choose whether to open that door or detonate every bridge left. The storm keeps rattling the windows while that doorbell bleats a 3rd time, sharp as an alarm klaxon. Brooke straightens her hoodie like she's about to greet royalty. Lisa looks stricken, half apology, half hope that viral redemption is still possible. I glance at the tripod logo Sunrise Now, a breakfast TV behemoth that chews family drama for ratings. If their cameras cross my threshold, every private failure becomes public currency. Flash forward edited sound bites. Strangers dissecting my parenting between commercials for cholesterol meds. No. I grip the doorknob. Inhale, exhale. Interviews canceled. I announce loud enough for the mic outside to catch. Through the glass, the field producer mouths, "Viewers love heartfelt endings." I shake my head once military crisp and turn the bolt. Inside, Brooke's phone light flickers fury. They promised primetime exposure. Do you know what that's worth? Less than self-respect. I answer, muscles vibrating. She films my profile anyway, her lens hunting weakness until I raise a flat palm. Turn it off or leave it outside with the crew. She hesitates, thumb hovering, then ends the live. The living room feels suddenly smaller, like a submarine after a bulkhead seals. I sit, re-establish command. New rules stand. Fundraiser money diverted, car repairs yours. College fund is still mine in trust until further notice. Brooke's nostrils flare. That's financial abuse. My followers, no lawyers. Lisa steps in, voice quavering. Mark, we can negotiate later, just not tonight. Negotiations ended when the camera crew arrived, I reply. Brooke bolts upstairs door, slamming hard enough to rattle the family portrait from our wedding. Brooke planted between us, grinning tooth gap wide, a frozen echo of trust, now cracked at the frame's corner. Lisa sinks onto the couch. Rain hushes to drizzle. The house hums on backup battery. She rubs her temples. You blindsided her. She ambushed us, I counter. We're spiraling, Liz. Boundaries or burnout. Her eyes fill. She's terrified of losing momentum. The algorithm's brutal. I think of Kabul, sorties miss a timing window, and the whole convoy eats dust. Still, war zones don't excuse friendly fire. She's 16. Momentum is not mortgage. Lisa clasps her hands. I heard what she threatened. She wouldn't really call CPS, I cut in gently. The internet will believe any headline. I can't parent at gunpoint of cancel culture. She nods, tears sliding, and for a heartbeat, we're allies again. Two adults overwhelmed by a machine we helped build. Days pass in radio silence. Brooke shuffles to school, eyes glued to screen's earbuds, sealing her off. Online, hacker-free. Brooke trends for 12 hours. She posts cryptic memes insinuating oppression, then deletes them when trolls swarm. At Miller HVAC Solar, I bury myself in install schedules, but even rooftop breezes can't cool the throb behind my eyes. Marisol emails spreadsheets mapping worst-case cash flow if sponsors sue for breach of image clauses. Sam jokes about renting Brooke her own billboard influencer independent living, now leasing. Yet he watches me like a medic monitoring vitals. Saturday night arrives the long-planned brisket cookout with my softball crew. I almost cancel. Sam insists continuity matters. Don't surrender home field. So the smoker whistles on the patio, Shiner Bock bottles clink, and laughter floats through sliding doors. For 90 minutes, I taste normalcy until Brooke drifts in wearing ring light makeup thick enough to reflect the fairy lights. Conversations falter. Guests smile politely. Brooke eyes my buddies' phones like they're unpaid cameramen. She waits for a conversational lull, then drops her bomb. Breaking news. I've been accepted to USC Cinematic Arts. She flashes a doctored PDF on screen. Applause ripples, but Sam's brow knots. He mouths, QR, I nod later. Brooke pivots to the big ask voice, sugary tuitions, only $95,000 a year, but with my scholarship, she waves a blank letterhead. We only owe $60. Totally doable if Dad unlocks the 5239. I set my plate down. The room temperature seems to spike despite the AC. That fund covers in-state tuition, I remind, calm but loud. Brooke giggles for her invisible audience. Dad loves to broadcast poverty mindset. Laughter dies. Guests stare at brisket. She straightens, eyes glassy. You think small because you fix air conditioners. I build brands. USC equals leverage. Sam clears his throat, but Brooke's rolling. Honestly, if he can't step up, maybe the internet will. She raises her phone live again and points the camera at me. Meet Budget Broke Dad in 4K. The humiliation slices deeper than any battlefield ribbing. I feel every gaze hear Dr. Patel's voice, respect rail cut current arcing, while marinade smoke stings my eyes. I breathe, but the air tastes like ash. Turn it off, I say evenly. Brooke smirks. Make me. That's when 4 words detonate the night. You're not my father. Echoes bounce off cedar beams. Sarah Dave's wife gasps. Lisa rushes forward, whisper shouting, Brooke enough. Brooke shrugs free. He's just Mom's husband with a hero complex. Silence. Even the smoker seems to pause. Sam sets his beer down with surgical tenderness, stands beside me, and addresses Brooke's phone lens. Record this kid. Gratitude is currency. Disrespect is debt. Your account's overdrawn. Brooke falters. The live ends abruptly. Tears threaten, but resentment wins. She storms inside. Guests mumble excuses. In 5 minutes, the patio empties to clinking coolers and cooling meat. Lisa finds me staring at the coals. I'm sorry, she whispers. But I glimpse something behind her remorse, defensiveness, fear of fallout. Lightning bugs glow over the lawn. One lands on the brisket, foil burns out. If you want to control someone, she mutters almost to herself, have your own child. The phrase, nearly identical to the Reddit story's dagger, slams home. She covers her mouth like she tasted poison. Too late. The rails twist beyond repair. I nod once the motion slow final. Copy that, I reply, and walk to the workshop. Inside, under fluorescent calm, I open the gun safe disguised as a tool chest. Instead of weapons, it guards financial documents, 5 and 29 statements, trust forms, passcodes. I log in on the shop laptop, hands eerily steady, and initiate a full withdrawal, $90,000, plus Tesla shares transfer to Miller Homes for Vet's charitable account. A warning pops. Are you sure? I picture Brooke's phone framing me like clickbait. Lisa's accidental barb, a decade of silent sacrifices. My finger clicks yes, funds pending. No fireworks, just a quiet ping like a pin pulled from a grenade. I call Janet Reese, family law attorney. Voicemail. I leave a concise briefing, need dissolution strategy, asset firewall, primary residence retainment. Call 0800. Then I text Marisol, transfer complete. Deposit to Vets Thursday. She replies with a praying hands emoji and proud of you. The workshop smells of cedar and solder. A thunder rumble rolls distant as if the sky reacts to my detonation. Returning to the house, I find Lisa on the staircase, red-rimmed eyes, phone clenched. She locked herself in her room crying. I nod, walk past. In our bedroom, I pack a go bag, 3 days of clothes, toiletries, my VA paperwork. I set it by the door. Downstairs, the smoker's embers sigh their last. At dawn, I'm already in the truck when Sam's text blinks, QR scan, USC letter fake. Need donuts? I type back, bring coffee. Lawyer at 8. The sun crawls over cedar tops, painting the windshield gold. Behind me, the house, my house, still stands, but it feels evacuated like a base abandoned after extraction. I drive toward Janet's office, braking at a red light where a billboard advertises Dream Big Live Free Finance Later. My reflection stares from the glassy Tesla model beside the slogan. I think of Brooke, of live streams and leverage, of how debt begins in the heart before it hits a bank statement. The light turns green. I press the gas. Ahead lies paperwork, confrontation, fallout, and somewhere beyond a life that's mine again. Back at the house, Lisa will soon refresh the 529 portal, see zeros, hear Brooke's scream pierce the morning. But by then, I'll be signing documents that change everything. Because last night wasn't just a blow-up dinner, it was the line in the sand. And sand once glassed by lightning never turns back to beach. I glance at the dashboard clock, 07:59. 1 minute to the lawyer. 1 minute before the explosion stops being theoretical. Then my phone buzzes, an unknown number, caller ID, Sunrise Now producer. They want a statement about the stepdad fund scandal trending nationwide. My thumb hovers. I can answer and fuel the circus, or let silence speak as the fuse burns. I let it ring, pull into Janet's lot, and kill the engine. The screen goes dark just as the voicemail kicks in. Inside the briefcase beside me, the withdrawal confirmation waits ink still fresh. Outside, a new day swells with heat and consequences. And I still haven't decided whether to pick up Brooke's car keys from the kitchen counter or slide them into the shredder of memory. Janet Reese's office smells like printer toner and quiet dread. She's early 40s hair in a no-nonsense bun, combat boots, peeking under a navy suit, someone who's marched through more divorces than I've flown sorties. She reviews my stack of spreadsheets, then taps her pen twice detonator style. Asset trail is clean. House deed in your name, business separate. Will file no fault, but request exclusive use of the property and a 30-day vacancy for Lisa. Expect viral backlash. Screenshots never sleep. She slides a document labeled Proposed Temporary Orders across the desk. My signature lands like a rubber stamp on a bomb crate. By noon, my direct deposit reroutes to a fresh LLC account. Marisol triple encrypts passwords. Sam hauls a spare bed into his guest room, grinning at my go bag. Welcome to Camp Backbone, Captain. First rule, fridge beers are fair game. The joke lands. But that night, on his couch, the silence booms. I thumb through photos, Brooke at 7 wearing a duct tape jetpack, Lisa laughing beneath 4th of July sparks. Each swipe is a ricochet. PTSD isn't always explosions. Sometimes it's memory shrapnel that won't quit moving. Wednesday. Janet dispatches a process server who specializes in high-profile digital households. Guy arrives disguised as an Amazon driver, body cam rolling to avoid, he said, she said. I park down the street, engine idling, heart steady in mission tempo. Through the windshield, I watch Lisa open the door, Brooke filming over her shoulder. The server announces, Lisa Carter, you've been served, hands over a manila envelope, pivots and exits frame like a ghost. Brooke's jaw actually drops. The camera dips. My phone pings with live footage. OMG, stepdad is evicting us, already streaming to 10K viewers. I shake my head, shift to drive. Can't save people from their own broadcasts. Fallout starts immediately. Brooke's GoFundMe donors discover the vet's charity transfer. Half applaud, half rage. Algorithms feast. Lisa texts me a storm of mixed signals. Brooke's hysterical. We can fix this. How could you humiliate us? Then silence. At Miller HVAC Solar, the crew tiptoes. Sam finally breaks tension by hanging a whiteboard tally, days without viral mishap. 0. Laughter helps the knots loosen. By Friday, my insurer confirms successful removal of Brooke as a listed driver. At 3:17 p.m., she runs a yellow light outside Round Rock High and gets pulled for expired tags and no coverage. The dash cam citation video reaches TikTok before the ticket ink dries. Brooke sobbing, officer calm, comments, savage. I watch it once, gut twisting, not triumph, just sorrow. Respect, debt, collecting interest. That evening, Lisa calls from the house. Her voice thins like bad cell reception, but she's on Wi-Fi. Brooke got a ticket. They towed the car. She blames you. I breathe. I warned her weeks ago. Come home. Talk to her, Lisa pleads. Home. I picture the living room's busted frame, hear Brooke's words looping. You're not my father. Not tonight, I say. She whispers. She's still your daughter. Static fills the line where my answer should be. I let it. Saturday sunrise. I pull into the driveway, my driveway, while Lisa and Brooke sleep. I enter on quiet boots, grab Sentimental Strikes, the acrylic-encased paper airplane Brooke made when she was 6, my grandfather's wrench, set the family photo before cracks. The air smells of lavender detergent and scorched trust. On the fridge, Brooke's vision board lists USC 1M followers. Tesla sponsorship, New York loft. I pin a sticky note over it, thermostat, not thermometer, set your own climate. Then I lock the master bedroom door behind me and empty my closet. 45 minutes later, I'm back in the truck cab stacked with boxes, sky bleeding orange. Lisa's message arrives at noon, voice trembling between rage and panic. You changed the mortgage autopay. They're calling me because the draft bounced. I keep my reply simple. Temporary orders assign me the bills. You handle utilities until move out. Check page 3. She fires back a string of crying face emojis, then a final text. Brooke is live streaming everything. Hope you enjoy the circus. I mute the thread. Janet schedules mediation for next Thursday. Over prep coffee, she role-plays worst-case scenarios. Lisa will aim for spousal maintenance. We counter with her earning history. Brooke may attempt emancipation claims. Irrelevant. Stick to facts. I nod, but my stomach roils like sheet metal in the sun. Before I leave, Janet hands me a single-page affirmation worksheet, 5 lines. What do I protect? I write, Logan Sam crew jobs, mental health, and something unexpected, future peace. Mediation day. Austin humidity drapes like wet canvas. Conference room neutral beige water pitchers, sweating rings. Lisa enters first, eyes swollen, holding a folder of bank screenshots. Brooke follows outfit high glam phone mounted on a mini gimbal despite a posted no recording sign. Janet politely demands the device off. Brooke sneers but complies, muttering about archaic systems. Opposing counsel, a silver-templed man in a salmon tie, opens with my clients seek equitable relief. Half marital assets, custody of the residence until Brooke graduates, reinstatement of the 529. Janet counters with crisp calm. Assets are premarital or sole proprietor. Residence owner is my client. Custodial 529 legally his. Offers transitional rent assistance and vehicle loan payoff. We volley numbers. Lisa's lawyer inflates, Janet deflates. Brooke whispers, attorney scribbles. At one point, Brooke lunges for the water pitcher, knocks it. Ice spills. Papers soak. Symbolic meltdown. Halfway through, Lisa breaks. Tears stream. She looks straight at me. He was the only dad she ever trusted. Brooke stiffens, but doesn't deny. My throat tightens. Janet slides a tissue box across unconsciously, aligning us on opposite sides of a trench. I speak slowly, each word like tightening a flared copper fitting. I loved her like blood. Love doesn't survive weaponization. Brooke's gaze flickers. Something behind the eyeliner fractures. By late afternoon, we reach a draft. Lisa and Brooke have 30 days to vacate. I pay moving truck cost plus first month's rent on a 2-bedroom apartment. Spousal maintenance denied. Lisa's income potential documented. Car title transfers to Brooke once repairs and back fees are settled on her dime. They accept under duress. Settlement unsigned until morning. Cortisol still high. We exit separate doors. In the parking lot, thunderheads brew Texas weather mirroring Texas tempers. Sam texts softball finals tonight. We need a cleanup hitter. I stare at the dark sky, then reply, put me fourth in the lineup. Game lights splatter gold across red dirt. Swinging a bat feels primitive honest. Bottom of the 7th runners on tie score. Sam nods from third. Pitch arcs. I swing. Crack. Ball soars into humid blue, clears the fence by inches. Crowd, mostly crew families, erupts. As I round bases, my chest loosens for the first time in weeks. At home plate, Sam claps my shoulder. Sea captain still knocking it out despite curveballs. I grin, breath ragged but alive. For one inning, life distilled to wood and leather, no followers, no subpoenas. Later, cooling off with lime-salted water, I scroll notifications out of habit. A message request pops from an unfamiliar handle, at Real Sandra Designs. Thumbnail, strawberry blonde architect I remember from Lisa's social circle, quiet observer at parties. Text reads, Hi Mark, heard today was rough. In case nobody's told you tonight, you did the right thing. My thumb hovers. Connection feels risky, but warmth skirts the edges. I pocket the phone, deciding to answer after a night's sleep. I drive toward Sam's house. Thunder finally breaks, rain hammering the windshield. Wipers beat steady like a metronome, counting down to the official signing tomorrow. Headlights carve silver tunnels through sheets of water. In the rearview stadium, lights fade, noise replaced by engine hum and my own heartbeat. Somewhere in the wet dark, Brooke and Lisa pack boxes heavy with regret, maybe filming, maybe crying. I don't know, can't control it. I only steer forward. As I pull onto Sam's gravel drive, phone buzzes again, an unknown Austin number. Probably the morning show producers fishing for a quote, but instinct says answer. I swipe. A masculine voice slurs bar ambience behind him. Is this Mark? It's Travis Brooks' real dad. She says you're ruining her life. Figure it's time we talk man to man. Tires crunch, engine idles. The last piece of the triangle finally calls. Thunder rattles the truck frame. I clear my throat. You picked a hell of a night. He laughs, careless. Could use a loan for gas if you want me to step up. Road trips ain't cheap. My jaw locks. Outside lightning forks the sky, illuminating Sam on the porch, raising an eyebrow. I grip the wheel, deciding whether to hang up or invite Travis down to Texas and end every lie once and for all. The rain drums so hard on the cab roof I can taste metal in the air. Travis's voice slurs through the speaker, equal parts bourbon and bravado. Little Brooke says you stole her dream money. How about wiring me $2,000? I'll roll south, set the record straight, maybe soothe the kid. I picture the bar he's calling from, plastic guitar hanging over a jukebox, neon beer angel blinking. A man who sees fatherhood as a cover charge. I keep my tone flat. She's almost grown. You're 5 states and 15 years late. He chuckles, coughs. Better late than never. Besides, PR's rough on a teenage girl. Press loves a reunion. The implication, another circus, fresh headlines, burns hotter than the humid night. Sam stands on the porch under the buzzing bulb, arms crossed, silently asking you good. I weigh the choice like a live breaker switch. Invite Travis, risk gasoline on the blaze. Hang up, leave, Brooke clinging to a fantasy that her bio dad cares. Old flight line instincts click. Sometimes the most merciful thing is exposing a dud round. Come on down, I say. Austin traffic's lighter after midnight. He whoops, promises ETA 20 hours, and disconnects. Thunder cracks behind his dial tone. Next morning, the mediation papers finalize Lisa's signature, shaky mine, precise, Brooks absent. She's legally a minor, rage doesn't count. Janet files, slaps the table once. Phase 1 complete. Now enforce boundaries like runway lights, bright, unmovable. I drive to the house one last time for a walkthrough with the realtor. Boxes line the foyer, Brooks' ring light gear piled like high-tech driftwood. Lisa avoids my eyes until we reach the kitchen. Travis texted, "He's coming." Her voice carries blended fear and hope, as if Barn swallowing a wasp for protein. Good, I answer. Brooke deserves the unfiltered version. Lisa whispers, she'll think you staged it to hurt her. I shrug. Truth isn't a stunt. On the fridge, my thermostat sticky note still hangs. Under it, Brooke has scribbled in lipstick, influencer set climates too. I peel it free and pocket both. That evening, Sam and I rebuild a busted condenser on a commercial roof downtown. Work is therapy granular enough to drown thought. Mid-shift Marisol videos in waving a spreadsheet. Don't freak Hefe, but homes for vets donations spiked to $50,000 after local news covered the transfer. People respect a line in the sand. Wind rattles a ladder. For once, the noise in my head isn't about mortars, it's applause I didn't expect. 20 hours later, a dented Dodge Caravan backfires into Sam's driveway at dawn. Travis climbs out wearing cowboy boots, so new the stickers cling a guitar case slung over one shoulder, breath fogged from a night of Red Bull and regret. He spots my truck and smirks. Figured the hero would be up. His handshake is limp, palm damp. Sam looms behind me, silent bouncer. Travis eyes him, decides not to posture. We sit at the picnic table. He lights an unfiltered cigarette, offers me one. I refuse. So he says, smoke, curling, what's my stake? $0, I answer. I invited you so Brooke can see who's been on the other end of unanswered birthday calls. He laughs, but his knee bounces. You gonna pay gas at least? I slide across an envelope, copies of every missed child support invoice, total balance, $27,840. You pay her, I say. That's your back rent. He squints, new boots, tapping. You know I'm broke. A hawk cries overhead. Sam's softball bat leans against the porch rail like punctuation. Then your contribution is honesty, I reply. We convoy to the apartment Lisa rented on short notice 2-story walk-up facing a drainage ditch. Travis whistles, step down from the McMansion. Huh? Lisa meets us outside ponytail, unwashed circles under her eyes. She pulls me aside. Brooks filming makeup tutorials thinks Travis is here to rescue college plans. I nod. She'll learn rescue works both ways. Travis strolls past humming a country hook. Lisa knocks. Brooke swings the door wide, ring light halo ignited. Dad, she squeals, not to me. For 5 brittle seconds, she hugs Travis as if clinging to a magic ticket. Camera rolls. Travis grins into the lens, playing repentant troubadour. My stomach knots, but I let the scene breathe. Inside boxes double as furniture. Travis takes the only chair, tells Brooke a heroic road trip tale, sold a vintage amp for gas, slept in Walmart lots, destiny, blah blah. Brooke eats it up. Finally, Lisa clears her throat. Travis Mark wanted to discuss logistics. He waves a hand. Bills, no spoilers, honey. Brooke's eyes sparkle. Real Dad says he can talk to sponsors, maybe get me a record label collab. I exhale through my nose. Real Dad also owes you $27,000 in back support. I lay the invoices on the coffee table. Brooke's smile wavers. Travis chuckles, scratching his neck. Numbers are personal, man. They became public the day you went private, I say, pointing at the lens. Brooke swings the phone between us, uncertain whose story sells better. Travis scans the totals, face blanching. Paperwork glitch, he mumbles. Brooke blinks, lipstick parted. The ring light's reflection in her pupils flickers like bad neon. Sam steps in, deposits his bat gently against the wall, silent but seismic. Travis raises both hands. Easy, brother. I'll make it right, might need a GoFundMe. Brooke's lips tremble. She lowers the phone, gaze ping-ponging between us. You didn't bring scholarship contacts? Travis shrugs. Connections cost gas, honey. Something in her fragile influencer persona snaps. Mascara pools at the corners. You drove 900 miles for clout? Her voice cracks. Travis shifts blame lightning quick. Your stepdad set me up. He wants you broke so he looks noble. He lobs the lie like a hand grenade. For once, Lisa doesn't grab the pin. She steps forward, voice steady. Mark warned me this might happen. You chose not to listen all those years. Brooke stares at her mother, betrayal compounded. You knew, Lisa nods, tears silent. Brooke turns to me. Rage, sorrow, and dawning comprehension volley across her face. Why she breathes. PTSD static thrums, but I keep my voice even. Because a real father shows up when it isn't viral. And sometimes the lesson hurts before it heals. Travis snorts, stands to leave. Call me when you're famous, kiddo. He shoulders the guitar case, squeaks past Sam, boots no longer shiny in the daylight. Brooke's knees buckle. She sinks onto a milk crate phone, forgotten. Ring light dims, pixel halo dying. Silence thicker than Texas humidity. Then a sob, raw, human, 12 years old again. Lisa wraps her arms around Brooke. They rock like shipwreck survivors. I stand by the doorway, wanting to console, yet knowing space is mercy. Sam beckons. Time to go. In the parking lot, Travis fumbles with keys, curses the van ignition. He looks up. Gas money. I walk past, open my truck, hand him a folded paper airplane encased in acrylic. That's worth more than currency, I say. He flips it, sees Brooke's 6-year-old handwriting for Daddy, who fixes everything. Confusion knits his brow. I climb into the cab, engine purring. Sam rides shotgun, window down. As we pull off, Travis shouts after us, voice swallowed by cicadas. Back at the workshop, dusk settles lavender across the yard. I hang the thermostat sticky note above my drafting table, a talisman against emotional heat waves. Phone buzzes. Message from @RealSandraDesigns Coffee. Tomorrow I'll bring blueprint paper in case you need to sketch a new chapter. I exhale, type back 0700 at Kirby Lane. Bring pencils. Before bed, I scroll Brooke's channel. The last upload is a black screen with her voice shaky. Sometimes the algorithm spits out the truth and you can't edit around it. Comments split between empathy and mockery, but she has finally disabled ads. Small step, maybe first real one. I drift asleep on Sam's couch, rain tapping tin gutters again. Dream fragments. Logan's future laughter, a house echoing music, not arguments, the whir of solar inverters powering something warm. At 2:13 a.m., my phone vibrates unknown number. I answer groggy. It's Lisa. Voice hoarse. She's asking if you'll come in the morning. She called you Dad. My chest thuds. Let her rest, I reply, but tell her I'm not leaving the planet. Lisa sniffles a laugh cry. She wants to know if she can volunteer at Homes for Vets this weekend. I close my eyes, feel the rail of respect welding in the dark. Shift starts at 9. Hard hats provided. I hang up the room, settling to quiet. Outside, thunder recedes toward distant counties. In a few hours, sun will rim the cedar trees and I'll sit across from Sandra with coffee steaming between fresh blueprint rolls. But first, I drift back under the blanket, heartbeat sinking to the steady HVAC hum. Somewhere, two women are piecing themselves together beside cardboard boxes. Somewhere, a van sputters onto an interstate exit ramp. And in the narrow space between endings and beginnings, I finally feel the temperature holding steady. The stillness fractures at dawn when Sam barges in, phone bright. Captain, you need to see this. Brooke's followers are crowdfunding for a flight to USC and the goal already hit 20 grand overnight. My pulse spikes, the thermostat of peace jolted. Sam's eyes widen. Do we intervene or let the lesson deepen? Outside first light crawls over the horizon like a question demanding an answer. Sam's phone still glows in my face. 23 and climbing caption, screaming, "Help Brooke escape toxicity, send her to USC." The fund description links to the same fake acceptance PDF. Donors pour heart emojis and Venmo handles for mutual promo. My first instinct is to yank the plug, email GoFundMe, prove fraud, end the carnival. But Dr. Patel's voice echoes, people learn deeper when they face the mirror themselves. I shove the phone back. We hold, let consequences teach. Sam grunts approval, then tosses me a clean shirt. Coffee date in 20. Don't be late to your next mission. Kirby Lane smells of pancakes and fresh start energy. Sandra waves from a corner booth, architectural tubes unfurled beside a steaming mug. Her hair's in a messy knot pencil tucked like an antenna. She slides me a sketch labeled Phase 0, Mark's real home. Solar angles, kid-safe deck railings, a small nursery off the master. My chest tightens. Blueprint on day 2. She shrugs. Engineers plan ahead. I update her on Brooke's overnight jackpot. Sandra bites her lip. Design question, what happens when a flawed foundation meets sudden load cracks? I answer. She nods. Then maybe let it crack. You can't reinforce mid-pour. Her steady gaze feels like a challenge and a promise. At 9 a.m., I roll into the Homes for Vets site, former motel we're gutting into efficiency apartments. Brooke waits by the tool trailer, hair in a low braid, hands stuffed in hoodie pockets. No ring light, no neon sneakers. She manages a thin morning, Dad. The word lands shaky but real. I hand her safety goggles. Rule 1, hard hats don't match outfits. She almost smiles. We spend 3 hours ripping carpet that smells like decades of cigarettes. Sweat dust, small talk about nothing. Around noon, Marisol calls. I put her on speaker. GoFundMe flagged the campaign for suspected fraud video evidence you faked the letter. Funds frozen pending documentation. Brooke goes chalk white, drops the carpet knife. Pending means donors might get refunds or escalate, Marisol says. Class action GoFundMe is trending this week. I click off. Brooke sinks onto a bucket. I really messed up. I hand her water. Mistakes don't define your response does. She stares at the half-stripped floor nods once. Sunday evening, Lisa texts frantic internet dragging Brooke, please call. I drive to the apartment. Trolls have found Brooke's ticket video, Travis's bailout, every contradiction. Her crowdfund sits at $0 platform reversed charges, left a banner campaign removed for policy violation. Brooke's curled on the futon scrolling hate comments, eyes red phone shaking. I kneel, screen off. She presses power with trembling thumb. How do I undo the internet? You outlast it. I say by building something offline, she whispers. Like the vet's place? I nod. Asked if she can keep volunteering. I answer, shift boards open. Next morning, the county clerk records the divorce decree, 11 years of marriage shuttered with a stamped seal. Realtor closes the sale of my now vacant house within hours, Austin market still rabid. A wire hits my account. Another goes straight to a 2-acre lot outside Leander that Sandra found cheap because the barn's half collapsed. We toast with Topo Chico at sunset, standing in tall grass where our future foundation will sit. The wind smells of cedar and maybe hope. Lisa and Brooke move into their 2-bedroom across town. First month's rent, my last gesture. On moving day, I show up with pizza load the Corolla Cross onto a flatbed for repairs. Brooke signed the payment plan herself. She thanks me quietly, voice raw. Lisa watches from the balcony, expression unreadable. When I drive off, Brooke waves a tiny goodbye like a leaf in wind. I tap the brake lights, twice a silent code from our Lowe's taco days. Weeks slide by. Brooke works Saturdays at Target, weekdays after school, patching drywall for Homes for Vets. She stays off live video posts, only progress photos, no filters, just paint-splattered jeans. Followers plummet, but the few remaining comment real encouragement. One evening, she hands me a signed apology letter addressed to every GoFundMe donor, plus copies of refund receipts. Integrity invoice, she calls it. My throat goes thick. I fist bump her knuckles streaked with joint compound. Sandra and I fall into an easy orbit blueprint revisions on the tailgate late-night Whataburger runs. One Friday, she meets Sam and the crew for softball. She can't hit, but designs a new team logo on a napkin. Sam nods approval, like a general. October drifts in gold-edged and cool. I'm tightening a solar rack when Dr. Patel calls. She's reviewed my latest evaluation, sleep improved, triggers reduced. Your grounding rail held, she says. I thank her, hang up, and watch clouds roll over the half-framed barn. The world feels wide, yet navigable. Then Election Tuesday arrives with its own surprise ballot. Sandra stands by my truck holding a slim white stick. 2 blue lines. Heartbeat slams my ribs like a hammer drill. She laughs, cries, architect's overplan, but this blueprint beat us. I lift her spinning until the prairie blurs. We collapse on the tailgate, heads touching. My mind flashes to Brooke placing dandelions on my wrench box years ago, to rockets painted sage green, to a future kid who'll never wonder what I'm called. We tell Sam, she asks. Let's make him Godfather by default, I reply. Night air tastes electric. As winter creeps, I finalize crew bonuses, close the fiscal year stronger than ever. Brooke texts renovation photos. Room 5 finished, named it Travis Suite, 0 amenities. Dark humor means healing. She graduates early, enrolls at Austin Community College for construction management part-time, but paid with her own wages. I attend the ceremony, sit beside Lisa, our truce stable not warm. Brooke finds us afterward, tassel crooked. Selfie for the real feed, she asks. The photo catches 3 smiling faces under cheap fluorescent lights. No ring light required. 6 months later, Sandra and I marry in a small Cedar Grove ceremony. Sam, best man, Brooke, painting a welcome sign. Marisol handling spreadsheets disguised as seating chart. Dr. Patel attends, gifting a custom thermostat etched with "Set Your Own Climate." We honeymoon over a long weekend, then race back because the baby's kicks are visible and we don't want to miss a wobble. Logan Hayes Miller arrives in a thunderstorm exactly 1 year after the frying pan breakup dinner, 8 pounds lungs like sirens. The first time he grabs my finger, my knees nearly buckle. In that hospital glow, I understand why Brooke once called me daddy. With no blood-proof kids define family, not DNA. I text her a photo of Logan swaddled. She replies with a heart and tell my brother I'll teach him drywall. Time accelerates. Logan toddles through sawdust chases, fireflies behind the finished barn house. Sandra's laugh drifts through open windows. Brooke drops by twice a month sometimes with Lisa, more often alone. She and Logan share inside jokes, banana sticker trades, secret handshakes that mirror the old Lowe's salute. Each visit welds the respect rail stronger. We don't hear from Travis again until an arrest article circulates bad checks in Baton Rouge. Brooke forwards it with a single word closure. I respond, thermostat set to peace. Year 5 dawns. House paid down business. Humming Logan's 3rd birthday invites printed on recycled blueprint offcuts. Sunday morning sunlight pours across the kitchen where Sandra whisks pancake batter. Logan bangs a spatula like a cymbal. Doorbell rings. I expect Sam with early balloons, but the video feed shows 2 shadowed faces I haven't seen in years. Lisa and Brooke jackets, thin eyes, tired. Logan shouts visitors. I freeze, heart-hitching. Sandra wipes flour, follows my gaze. On the porch, Brooke holds a folded paper, the same apology letter, maybe edges worn. Beside her, Lisa clutches a folder labeled eviction notice. They're 5 years older, tension etched deep. I mute the stove across the foyer. Through glass, Brooke mouths, we need help. Memory reels, ring light humiliation, courtrooms, asphalt sweat, but also drywall. Saturdays, rehabbed motels, redemption texts. Logan tugs my jeans. Who's that daddy? I squeeze his shoulder. Sandra rests a hand on my back. The door stands between past debts and present peace. My palm hovers the handle. Outside clouds gather like witnesses. When I unbolt, whichever climate I set will flood every room in this house. I inhale, exhale, and pull. The cedar door swings open and morning air rushes in cool for a Texas spring, smelling of wet earth and chance. Lisa stands first, shoulders hunched beneath a thrift store peacoat eviction folder clutched like a life vest. Beside her, Brooke hugs that creased apology letter to her chest. Eyes, puffy cheeks, wind-chapped, no makeup, no lens. Behind me, Logan squeals visitors and totters off to fetch a plastic hammer ready to fix whatever needs fixing. Sandra hovers in the doorway of the kitchen flower, on her wrist, assessing the scene with architect calm weight load stress points possible collapse. I clear my throat. Step in, kid. It's warmer than the porch. They cross the threshold, dripping uncertainty onto reclaimed wood floors Brooke once helped sand. We gather at the dining table, oak slab Sandra salvaged from a demolished barn where every grain records old storms. Lisa exhales. Rent went up 12%. My daycare cut hours again. Brooke's community college tuition ate the cushion. Brooke whispers, "We've got 10 days to vacate." Logan clambers onto my lap, plops the plastic hammer between us like a gavel. "We fix?" he asks. I kiss his hair. "Maybe, buddy. First, we listen." Brooke hands me the letter edges soft from rereads. "I never mailed it," she admits. Words seemed cheap after everything. Her fingers tremble. Sawdust still rims her nails. I slide the letter back. Words mean plenty when actions echo them. "Tell me what actions you need from me and what actions you'll take yourselves." Lisa wipes a tear. "We're not asking to move in, just a bridge." Sandra steps forward, places 2 mugs on the table. "Bridges need blueprints," she says gently, then flips her notebook to a blank page. "Let's draft." For the next hour, we scope realities Brooke can crash in the unfinished barn loft, no rent chores required curfew synced to Logan's bedtime. Lisa can pick up evening shifts at our vet house project bookkeeping. Marisol begged for reliable help. They accept every condition without flinch. When Sandra proposes a 6-month review clause, Brooke nods so hard her braid unravels. I feel the respect rail hum current finding new ground. Logan beams, declares snack time, and Brooke follows him to the pantry, emerging with apples. She slices precise crafts, a smiley face on his plate. Watching them, Lisa whispers, "She finally believes you won't slam doors on her again." I shake my head. Doors are tools. They open, they shut. Depends on weather. Outside, clouds herd east. Sunlight stripes the fields. By dusk, Brooke hauls 2 duffels into the loft, hangs a string of warm bulbs, and settles onto an air mattress. She posts a single photo, bare beams, work boots, caption reset mode, influencer mode. Comments small but sincere. Lisa heads to her apartment to pack. I lend her the F-150 keys, exchanging with a quiet thank you heavier than rent. Sandra and I tuck Logan in. He insists Brooke read Goodnight Moon through the rafters, her voice shaky but sweet. 2 weeks pass in steady rhythm. Brooke wakes before dawn to join our crew, slinging drywall, swapping TikTok hacks for caulking tips. At night, she studies for midterms under the loft bulbs. She never live streams, never asks for handouts. Instead, she uploads time lapses of veteran rooms, transforming peeling wallpaper to fresh eggshell shattered blinds to shaded skylight. Followers trickle back, slow, organic, interested in outcome, not drama. Lisa proves a wizard, with receipts catching discrepancies that save the project thousands. Marisol calls her hawkeyes and lobbies to pay her more than the decree requires. On payday, Lisa refuses the bump. "Let me earn it next quarter," she says. Growth measured in deferrals, not dollars. One Friday, Brooke slips into the kitchen, cheeks blazing. ACC is offering me a partial scholarship to finish my associate degree early on site construction research. They liked my vet motel videos. She bites her lip. "I can cover tuition if I sell the ring light gear." "Could I borrow the Corolla for campus?" Sandra raises an eyebrow at me. I nod once. Keys hang by the door, same rules, insurance repairs respect. Brooke hugs me fast, so fast the dandelion memory flares bright, then bolts upstairs to draft a sales post titled "Ring Light, Ring Wrong." That evening, Lisa arrives with a housewarming plant and news her old daycare offered a full-time supervisor role, benefits included. She's undecided, loves the vet project, fears letting them down. I remind her Bridges branch. She can consult nights if she trains a replacement. Brooke offers to shadow her learn spreadsheets between classes. Lisa laughs for the first time in months. Life purrs. Logan turns 4. Party theme, small tools, big dreams. Brooke bakes hammer-shaped cookies. Sam mans the grill wearing the logo Sandra sketched. Guests cheer when Logan and Brooke perform their secret handshake, 2 taps, fist bump, palm spin. Somebody snaps a photo, the toddler, the college kid, the veteran, holding them both in one frame. Marisol prints it, slides it to me Monday, labeled "New Project Complete." Yet peace seldom lingers without testing. One humid July night, my phone buzzes with a legal alert: class action paperwork filed in California. Crowdfund donors Va Brooke Carter et al. Plaintiffs allege emotional damages and fraudulent inducement, $250,000 sought. Sleep evaporates. I wake Brooke. She reads every line, face blanching. "I thought refunds fixed it." "Internet never forgets," I answer. Sandra scans the docket on her tablet, points to one plaintiff's name, Madison Doyle Industries, LLC. Brooke groans. Madison, the Tesla friend turned micro-influencer macro nemesis. She's weaponizing the follow. Brooke's hands shake, but her eyes ignite. We fight. Lisa, pulled from spreadsheets, nods truth plus paper trail. We have receipts of refunds, emails, the apology letter, but legal defense costs money and time. 2 things: fresh starts, ration carefully. Sam suggests a silent auction softball tournament, HVAC hammers versus influencer teams, to raise fees and spotlight homes for vets. Brooke balks public arena means dredging scandal. I remind her of the Barn Foundation's face load. She squares her shoulders. Okay, but we call it the Transparency Classic. Tournament day scorches 102. Chain link fences, shimmer, concession stand. Hawks, brisket, tacos. Local news trucks circle like curious buzzards. Brooke steps to the dugout in dusty cleats, no mascara ponytail through a veteran's green cap. The opposing team sports designer athleisure and GoPros strapped to bats. Madison struts over camera rolling. Ready for your redemption arc, B. Brooke smiles steady. Ready for the scoreboard. Game tightens into the 7th. Tie at 4. Bases loaded, 2 outs, Brooke at bat. I'm coaching third, heart banging. She taps the plate, breathes the HVAC mantra, set your own climate. Pitch sails. She swings. Crack. Ball rockets toward center, a rising line destined for chain link. Crowd roars, then collective gasp. At the warning track, a drone, one of Madison's streaming toys, dives for cinematic footage blades catching sunflash. Ball smacks, drone, midair, explodes props. Debris showers turf. Umpires huddle. Rules non-existent for drone interference. Cameras everywhere. Madison shrieks, claims sabotage. Brooke stands frozen between first and second, unsure to advance or retreat. UMP finally gestures, ground rule, double 2 runs, score, Hammers lead 6-4. Stadium erupts, Madison storms, ump streaming meltdown. News crews feast. Brooke crosses home teammates swarm, but her smile isn't victory, it's dread. A drone smash on live feed adds gasoline to the lawsuit, damages negligence, influencer warfare. Back at the barn house that night, Logan asleep, we huddle around Sandra's laptop replaying footage. Drone swooped illegally, but internet spins faster than fact. Hashtags bloom, hashtag DroneGate, not softball scam. Brooke's phone buzzes nonstop, some praising poetic justice, others screaming conspiracy. Lisa paces muttering finance calculations. Marisol messages lawyers, anticipate amended claims by dawn. I lean against the countertop, world tilting like a rooftop in July sun. We rebuilt trust, patched walls, paid debts, but the algorithm opened a new fault line. Brooke rubs her temples. What if peace just isn't coded for me? I grip her shoulder. Peace isn't pre-coded. It's firmware updates, constant patches. Sandra closes the laptop gently. First rule of architecture: load paths follow the strongest frame. We hold frame. Lightning flickers beyond the window, summer storm marching in. Wind rattles tin gutters the way Travis's van once rattled my resolve. I fetch spare flashlights, survival habit, never dying. Brooke steps beside me. Whatever comes, I'll testify. No more hiding. Her voice firm. The respect rail hums. Then my phone rings. Janet Reese, I'm stamp 11:59 p.m. I answer, her tone urgent. Mark just got served e-copies. Madison's lawyer filed for an emergency injunction. They want the court to freeze all of Brooke's assets and subpoena your business records, claiming you orchestrated the drone incident for publicity. Thunder booms overhead. Sandra meets my eyes. Logan stirs upstairs. Brooke's face drains. I steady her. Janet, what's next move? She exhales. We appear at federal court in Los Angeles, 48 hours. Lightning cracks, splits darkness, power flickers. In the wavering light, Brooke whispers, Dad, I've never even been to California. I squeeze her hand. Packwork boots. We'll build testimony the same way we build homes, one solid stud at a time. Outside rain begins hard and relentless. Inside, we gather materials for a road trip that might dismantle everything we rebuilt or forge it fireproof. The storm rattles the rafters, and the screen of Brooke's phone lights with a final notification: Madison Doyle has gone live, exposing the truth at 10. We look at each other as thunder swallows the house. There's no mute button for what comes next. Story 2. I spent most mornings pouring lattes at a corner cafe, the steam from the espresso machine swirling like hope in my lungs. My hands were raw from nonstop shifts 5 years now, and every tip went straight into a battered leather college fund wallet I kept hidden under my mattress. I'd memorize every schedule change on the chalkboard, calculating whether a double shift plus weekend brunch rush would cover rent and my macroeconomics textbook. Between waking up at 4 a.m. to catch the first Uber pool, always with two strangers and a stray bag of groceries, and closing tables until midnight, I'd built my life on hustle. My roommate Sarah would roll her eyes as I lugged home thrift store finds, a ripped denim jacket I patched with embroidered flowers, a chipped coffee mug I insisted had character. Yet each evening while I studied by dim bedside lamp, I felt a hollow ache. Something I hadn't earned was out there untouched. Ethan, my kid brother, would breeze in later than me, revving the rented Porsche's engine before bragging about his latest nightclub conquest. He never asked for money. Mom and Dad covered his tuition at Tech U, his car payments, even his protein shake habit. I'd learned to swallow the unfairness, telling myself it built character. But at night, when the house went quiet, I'd stare at my empty wallet and wonder what those unseen dollars were up to. Jordan could always tell when I was about to crack. He'd slide into the cafe during my break, his eyes solemn beneath that dusty baseball cap. "You look like you're one latte away from a meltdown," he'd say, tossing me a granola bar. Jordan's family lived in a modest ranch house on the edge of town. His dad ran the auto shop for minimum wage, and his mom worked the front desk at the library. Yet somehow they managed car insurance, phone bills, and even summer camp for Jordan's little sister. He'd never let me buy him coffee. "You need it more," he'd grin. "But seriously, Mia, something's off with your folks." I shrugged off his concern. "They're teaching me to fend for myself." I tugged at my worn name tag, fingering the frayed edges. But when Jordan mentioned he'd seen my parents at a country club charity brunch sipping mimosas, dressed like they'd never known a hardship, I felt a spike of anger. How could they celebrate luxury when I skipped meals for textbooks? That night, I lay awake listening to my heartbeat hammer against the pillow. My dreams were haunted by a green envelope Grandpa Joe had handed me last Thanksgiving. The ink smudged, but the words clear: Mia's Education Trust. He'd patted my hand with that old carpenter's gentleness and told me he'd set it up when I was born. I'd smiled and nodded, thinking it was just another family tale. But something about his eyes. I'd sensed pride and maybe a secret. By Tuesday, my curiosity overpowered my reluctance. During a lull at the cafe, I texted Uncle Marco, the family's quiet lawyer who'd never judged me. I didn't expect an answer, but by dusk his reply came: "Meet me at the office. Bring anything Grandma Eleanor left you." My heart clattered. Was I about to peel back a truth they'd hidden for decades? The next afternoon, I slipped into Marco's law office where mahogany shelves sagged under thick binders and faded photographs of my grandparents. He ushered me to a corner desk, clearing space for 2 steaming coffees. His face was drawn as though he'd aged 10 years worrying over this. "I got your message," he said gently. "Grandpa left files for you, trust documents, bank statements, deposit records. I scanned them last night." He passed me a slim pile of papers, handwritten ledgers in Grandpa's precise script, stamped bank notices, correspondence from a reputable trust firm. I ran my fingers over a page dated 22 years ago. Initial deposit, $1,000 for Mia Carter Education Trust. My breath caught. The next entries unbroken for years, detailed regular $300, $500 deposits. By my 18th birthday, there should have been over $45,000 waiting for me. But look, Marco pointed to a blotted withdrawal, September 2018, $800,000, home repairs. Then December 2020, $12,000 medical expenses. March 2021, $15,000 family emergency. My stomach lurched. That cafe uniform blurred before my eyes. Had they really tapped my future for a new roof veneers and Ethan's speeding tickets? I closed my fists around the papers, feeling a heat bloom in my chest. "They used it all," I whispered. "Every cent." Marco's hand on my shoulder was warm but steady. "They were trustees, Mia. Legally, you needed to be notified, and you weren't. They breached their duty." A sharp knock at the door startled us. Aunt Claire slipped in, her posture rigid, eyes glancing between me and Marco. "Heard you two whispering," she said in a clipped tone. She crossed her arms, lacquered nails tapping. "Everything okay?" Her voice carried that old undercurrent, something like resentment. Claire had always wanted a scholarship herself. She'd applied to every program in the state and gotten none. I swallowed my shock at her intrusion. Marco tensed. "Just discussing family business," he said neutrally. Aunt Claire's lip curled. "If you're going to spill secrets, at least let the rest of us in." She looked at me with a strange mix of pity and triumph, as if she'd won something by overhearing. My blood ran cold. Did she already know? I gathered the trust documents, sliding them into my tote. I need to think I said, voice trembling, but low. Claire nodded, smug. "Fine, but don't drag this out. Thanksgiving's in a week." Then she was gone, clicking heels down the hallway. As the door shut, Marco exhaled. "She shouldn't have seen that. You have to be careful." Outside, the November wind whipped golden leaves across the sidewalk. I hugged my coat, tighter fingers, brushing the papers peeking from my bag. In the distance, the cafe sign flickered open. My life was about to ignite. This was no longer just unfairness, it was betrayal. I set my jaw lungs burning with cold and resolve. That night, I texted Jordan, "Meet me at my place." "Now." He replied instantly, "On my way." As I stepped into the dim apartment, the single lamp casting long shadows, I realized action would come next. But I didn't yet know if I was ready for the storm I'd unleashed. And while I braced for confrontation, I couldn't shake one thought they'd gambled with my future, and now I was going to gamble right back. The door clicked behind Jordan, and his question cut through the silence. "So what's the play?" I swallowed hard, unfolding the first page of Grandpa's ledger. My voice was steady, but inside I felt like I'd just fallen off a cliff. "We're going to make them pay." As Jordan's eyes widened, Aunt Claire's words echoed in my mind. Thanksgiving's in a week. What would happen when the whole family gathered, believing they'd kept my trust safe, and how far was I willing to go to expose them? I spent the next morning staring at the flickering cursor on my laptop, heart pounding so hard I could almost hear it echo through the silent apartment. Jordan hovered behind me, hands buried in his hoodie pocket, eyes darting between the screen and the door, as if expecting Aunt Claire to burst in at any moment. I clicked open the PDF of the trust statements, each page a blow, deposits of $300, $500, month after month, year after year, vanishing into home repairs or family emergencies. My fingers trembled. "This isn't just a mistake," I whispered. "It's deliberate." Jordan leaned in, voice low. "So what's phase one?" We'd decided on a multi-pronged approach. First, get Grandpa Joe's testimony. He'd witnessed every deposit, yet clearly never approved the withdrawals. Second, prepare a social leak enough truth to ignite gossip, but not so much that Mia Carter's name got dragged through the mud. Third, secure legal footing. Uncle Marco would draft a cease and desist if Mom and Dad somehow caught wind. By midday, I was thundering down the rickety stairs of Grandpa's farmhouse, the late November wind cutting sharp through my coat like a warning. Dry leaves crackled beneath my boots as I crossed the yard, the rusted wind chimes on the porch, whispering secrets in the breeze. Grandpa Joe answered the door in his worn denim overalls, eyebrows lifting in quiet surprise at my early arrival. Inside, the scent of sawdust and old varnish wrapped around me like a memory, earthy, warm, honest. I didn't say a word, just slid the statements across his workbench, letting the silence speak first. He ran a calloused hand over the ledger pages, brow furrowing. "I didn't authorize these outflows," he muttered. His voice trembled. "I thought Linda and Dave were handling things responsibly." He looked at me, eyes rimmed red. "I'd never let them touch that money without your knowledge." His admission was a thunderclap in my ears, the first real confirmation that I wasn't imagining my parents' betrayal. Grandpa's support was a lifeline, but also a risk. If Mom and Dad suspected he'd turned, they might cut off his calls, even move away to hide the truth. We needed a recorded statement. I fumbled for my phone, hit record, and asked Grandpa to recount the timeline from the initial trust setup at my birth to his last deposit 2 years ago. His voice wavered with emotion, pride in his granddaughter's shame at his own oversight. "This ends now," I vowed under my breath. Back at the apartment, Jordan and I pored over the recording. The low hum of my mini fridge was the only sound. Phase 2, he said, is the social drop. He opened a private group chat with a dozen classmates top of our class involved in campus media. They'd been frustrated when profile pieces favored students with richer backers. This scandal would resonate. We drafted a brief, factual post Mia Carter's Education Trust 68K intended emptied without her consent. No sensational language, just numbers and dates. I hesitated, thinking of my parents' faces around the Thanksgiving table. But I couldn't let fear win. I hit send, watching each name turn green as they read. Within minutes, replies chimed, "This is insane! Is there proof? We need documentation." I attached sanitized PDFs, blacked out account numbers, left timestamps visible. It felt like dropping a match into dry brush. By dusk, my phone buzzed nonstop. Messages from friends saying they'd seen posts on campus boards, whispers at the library, questions from reporters at the student newspaper. My chest tightened. Jordan slapped me on the shoulder. "They're biting," but I could barely celebrate. A darker thought gnawed at me. Once this news went public, there was no going back. My parents would retaliate, possibly legally, maybe even physically. That night, I barely slept. Every creak in the hallway sounded like Mom's stilettos. Every echo downstairs made me wonder if Dad was coming for answers. By sunrise, my eyelids were swollen. Jordan arrived with 2 cups of coffee and grim determination. Next step, legal notice. Marco's draft is ready. We send it tomorrow morning. He slid an envelope across the table. Inside a letterhead from Marco's firm, a clear demand that my parents cease using the trust funds and prepare to return all withdrawals within 30 days or face civil action. I reviewed the letter, each sentence tighter than a noose breach of fiduciary duty, misappropriation of trust assets, possible punitive damages. It was perfect. But as I signed it, a knot formed in my stomach. This was a nuclear option. If they ignored Marco's demands or tore up the letter, it would escalate beyond social humiliation to full-blown courtroom drama. I glanced at the calendar pinned above my desk. Thanksgiving was exactly 1 week away. I could hear Aunt Claire's clipped reminder in my mind. "Don't drag this out." Did that mean she'd already told them? And if they knew about Marco's involvement, they might bolster their own legal team, maybe Aunt Claire's connections at the local bar association. Suddenly, my phone buzzed with an unknown number. My breath caught as I tapped the screen. "Meet me behind Quick Mart 5 p.m. Don't bring anyone else." My pulse hammered. Quick Mart was in Mom's territory. She shopped there every week. This could be Mom trying to ambush me or a trap from Aunt Claire. I looked at Jordan, voice small. "I have to go." He gave me a fierce nod, grabbing his jacket. "I'm coming," he said. I hesitated. This was my fight, my betrayal to confront. But the look in his eyes, solid loyalty, made me realize I wasn't alone. We stepped out into the gray afternoon footsteps muffled by damp leaves. As we rounded the corner to the dimly lit parking lot, I spotted a silhouette by the gas pumps, tall, slender coat hood up. My throat went dry. Was it Mom trying to guilt me, or Aunt Claire ready to threaten legal action of her own? I forced my legs forward, each step heavy with dread. "Over here," the figure called softly. I swallowed a sob of fear and anger. As we drew close, the hood fell back, and I froze. It wasn't my mother standing there, but Aunt Claire's face cold, triumphant, holding a manila envelope labeled confidential. Her smile cut like glass. "Thought you could play everyone, huh?" My breath caught in my throat as Aunt Claire's icy grin split the dim light. She lifted the manila envelope, and the Quick Mart neon buzzed overhead like a warning siren. "Before you congratulate yourself," she said softly, "you should know what I've found." Jordan stepped forward, brows knitted. Claire back off, but she cut him off with a shake of her head. "No, Jeremy, you stay out of this. This is family business." Her voice had that velvet menace only relatives can master. I clenched my fists, muscles trembling. The papers Claire pulled from the envelope were crisp and clinical, a letter from TechU's discipline board, stamped confidential, plus a printout of my fall semester transcript. The board's letter accused me of improper collaboration on a senior project, an allegation that, if true, could strip my scholarship and land me in academic probation. My eyes darted from the letterhead to the blacked-out signatures. How did you get this?" I croaked. Claire chuckled, stepping closer until her heels clicked on the concrete. "You think you're the only one who can dig up dirt? Your little social campaign riled some powerful people who dug back. I just happened to intercept their findings." She tapped the top sheet. "Your parents funded a private investigator to uncover anything that could ruin your credibility. Turns out you slipped on the final design, asked a friend for help, and didn't cite them. Plus, Jordan's group chat logs show you orchestrated that campus leak." Her words landed like stones in my chest, betrayal layered upon betrayal. Jordan's face went pale. "Mia would never," he began, but Aunt Claire lifted a finger. "Save it. I have everything right here." She held up a flash drive. "If I release these, your scholarship disappears overnight, your trust fund lawsuit collapses, and your reputation is toast." The wind picked up rattling the car door. I could taste copper on my tongue. All this time, I'd been so focused on my parents that I'd forgotten how ruthless Aunt Claire could be. She'd wanted that scholarship for herself, and now she'd ruin me to get it. Adrenaline spiked through me. A single misstep and my entire future would evaporate. But I refused to be intimidated. I squared my shoulders, voice steady despite the tremor in my chest. "You think I'm scared? You're the one sitting here with stolen evidence blackmailing your own niece." My words echoed in the empty lot. Claire's smile flickered, replaced by something sharper anger. She cursed under her breath, then took a deliberate step back. "Fine," she hissed. "If you won't negotiate, I'll hand these over to your parents and to tech you first thing tomorrow." She tucked the envelope and flash drive into her coat like trophies. "Enjoy your little victory while you can, Mia. By Thanksgiving, you'll be begging me for mercy." Without another word, she turned on her heel and disappeared into the shadows near the gas pumps, leaving me reeling. Jordan exhaled so hard I thought he might hyperventilate. "We have to move fast," he said, voice tight. "If Claire talks to your parents tonight, they'll bury us in countersuits and smear campaigns." My hands shook as I clutched the original trust documents against my chest. I could almost feel the money draining from my future again, that hollow ache in my gut. Lighting flared across the lot as a sedan rolled up, headlights grazing the cracked pavement. My heart slammed. Was it Mom? Dad? Someone else coming to finish what Claire started? I glanced at Jordan. His face was determined but afraid, and realized we were at a crossroads: retaliate now and risk everything, or back down and lose it all. The wind chimes from Grandpa's porch drifted into my mind, their tinny melody a reminder of the promise he made. I took a steadying breath, lifting my chin so Jordan could see my resolve. "We expose Claire's scheme first," I said, voice low but unwavering. "She's working for Mom and Dad. We flip the narrative, show Tech U her blackmail." He nodded, eyes gleaming with a wild mix of adrenaline and loyalty. We turned as one toward my car, determination burning through every nerve. But as we approached the driver's side, my phone buzzed with a text. "Urgent, check your student email." My stomach plummeted. I fumbled to open the notification, dread coiling in my chest. The subject line read, "Notice of pending disciplinary action," and my heart froze when I saw the timestamp 2 minutes ago. Jordan's hand hovered over the car door handle as I stared at the email, realizing that whatever momentum we thought we had, the real storm had already arrived, and it was coming from inside the very university I fought so hard to belong to.